It's 9 o'clock, so we're going to call the meeting to order. Today is July 1. This is the Pinellas County Board of Adjustment and Appeals. We received your cases in advance. We've studied them, and in some cases, we've visited the site. If any of the members visited the site, please let us know during the discussion. Please understand we do not bring these cases. We're citizens tasked with weighing the evidence submitted in order to make the most informed decision possible. We have no personal interest or stake in these cases except for the overall good of the community. Staff has made a recommendation on each case. That recommendation is input only and may or may not be the opinion of the board. If you're planning to speak for or against any application, you must be sworn in prior to testifying. If you've not been sworn in, you can do so with the clerk at the front of the room. We will proceed as follows. When your case is called, the applicant should come to the podium directly in front of me and give us your name and address. The applicant will then present the case, including comments from any supporters in attendance. Comments from supporters should be new information, not just a expression of support. Opponents will then be given an opportunity to state their objection. If there are numerous opponents, it's preferable for them to select one or two spokespersons. Speakers will have 3 minutes. Any subsequent objectors should add new information, not just rehash prior stated objections. The applicant will then return to the podium solely to rebut the comments of any opponents and may not bring any new information at that time. We will then close the public hearing. The board will discuss the case and make a motion and vote. Our attorney will now provide a legal disclosure.
Good morning. Assistant County Attorney Kirby Kreider. The matters heard by the Board of Adjustment and Appeals are quasi-judicial in nature. Please note that only competent, substantial, fact-based testimony or evidence may be considered by the board in deciding the matters before it. Pure speculation or opinion not based on competent facts cannot be considered by the board. Lay testimony with fact-based support, including but not limited to meeting minutes, surveys, engineering reports, etc., may be considered competent and substantial evidence. Thank you.
Michael, first case.
Good morning, everyone. Our first case is VAR-26-07. This is a variance request to allow the construction of a screen enclosure having a 2.6-foot rear setback from the eastern property line where 5 feet is required for the RPD zone property located at 1742 Woodhaven Street in unincorporated Tarpon Springs. Staff recommends conditional approval. The subject property contains a single-family home located within the Forest Ridge subdivision, which is a master planned community. The owner would like to construct a new screen enclosure on the rear of the property utilizing the existing concrete slab. The proposed enclosure would be situated approximately 2.6 feet from the rear property line where a minimum setback of 5 feet is required. The existing patio slab is allowed to encroach into this rear setback per our code section 138-3505. Since there is not a rear neighbor, it's a natural area that's behind, so there's no issues with violation of privacy. The applicant has a swim spa that he's indicated that he utilizes daily for rehabilitation of injuries, so the proposed screen enclosure would help protect the spa from bugs, leaves, etc. At the Development Review Committee meeting, we did discuss alternates to the variance, including rotating or moving this swim spa to maybe bring in the screen enclosure to meet the setbacks. Since it's already in place, difficulties based on the size and stuff of having to relocate, remove, rehook up the spa was determined to be difficult, so staff was satisfied with being able to move forward as the alternatives didn't seem like a likely alternative. Additionally, the owner has obtained approval from the HOA for the screen enclosure. He's not requesting any other setbacks, reductions, and we're recommending conditional approval with the applicant to obtain all required permits and fees.
Is the applicant here? Torres, Mr. and Mrs. You could come up to the front table. When your case is called, please come forward to the podium in front of us. Give us your name and address, please.
Good morning. Jose Torres, 1742 Wood Haven Street, Tarpon Springs, Florida, 34689.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in objection to this case? There's no one in objection. Is there anybody on the board that wants to make a motion?
I will. I'll move to accept the application according to the findings of fact and recommendations as detailed in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion for conditional approval. Is there any further discussion?
I just have a question of staff. There, it says that the adjoining properties both have encroachments. Were those approved by variance, or they just happened?
So both properties have screen enclosures in the back. I don't have surveys on them to tell. I mean, I don't believe that they do encroach into the setback. I believe they do meet this 5-foot
Oh, okay.
setback, as I didn't see any cases on those that came in front of us.
Okay.
All right.
Just one last comment. Thank you for your service, Mr.
Thank you very
Torres.
much, sir.
You're welcome.
Any further questions? All in favor of the motion to approve, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. You have your variance.
Thank you very much.
Easier than you thought it was going to be. We're very efficient here. You can sit down.
You may leave.
Thanks, everyone.
You're good. You're good to go. Next case.
Our next case is VAR-26-08. This is a variance to allow for the construction of a screen room with a composite roof having a 6.5-foot rear setback from the eastern property line where 10 feet is required for the RPD zone property located at 2609 Bentley Drive in Palm Harbor. Staff recommends conditional approval. The subject property contains a single-family attached home located within the Cobb's Landing subdivision, which is a master plan community. So the owner would like to construct a new screen room with a solid composite roof on the rear of the property utilizing the existing deck, and the deck is elevated above ground. So the proposed screen room would be situated approximately 6.5 feet from the rear property line where a minimum setback of 10 feet is required for this development. The existing deck is allowed to encroach into the rear setback per section 138-3505 since there is no rear neighbor and no issues of violation of privacy. There's a very large open space area behind these homes. The proposed screen room would be attached to the home. The owner has obtained approval from the HOA for the screen room and no other setback reductions are being requested. Again, staff recommends conditional approval with the applicant shall obtain all permits and fees and also that the screen room should not be enclosed and converted into an air-conditioned space.
Your name and address, please.
My name is Craig Boyle, Boyle's Aluminum, 1606 Avoca Drive, Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Okay, and the applicants are with you. Is this the Canes?
Danielle is actually with our company.
I'm with
This is
Boyle's
Mr.
Aluminum.
Kane.
Okay. Is there anyone here opposed or here to object to this case? No? Nobody here? Okay. Staff has recommended conditional approval.
Move to accept the application according to the findings of facts and recommendations as detailed in the staff report.
Second.
We have a motion for conditional approval in accordance with the findings of facts. Is there any further discussion on this case? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You have your variance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
Our next case is TY 2-26-02. This is a type 2 use request to allow a government building, which is an emergency operations center in an RAW zone for the property located at 3655 Keller Circle in East Lake, Tarpon. Staff recommends conditional approval. The subject property covers approximately just under 100 acres and owned by Pinellas County. The site is developed currently with the Pinellas County Utilities Department as the Keller Operations Center, which occupies about 7.5 acres, and the zoning is residential agriculture with wellhead protection overlay. The rest of the site, this project area contains administration building, parking area, lift station, and accessory storage. The remainder of the site, there's recreation fields on it and passive open space. So Pinellas County is proposing to construct a new one-story, 4,800 square foot emergency operations center facility on a portion of the subject property. It'll be used on a temporary emergency basis to support the emergency operations and will include bunk room, storage, space for the staff to shelter during storm events. Will not be open to the public, will not require new staff, as it'll be staffed by the current employees. As a result, existing parking areas will be shared by both facilities and are sufficient to accommodate their needs. Access is restricted to just employees only, and it is controlled by a gate along Old Keystone Road, so it won't be a traffic issue. Again, staff recommends conditional approval, as this project will further accommodate Pinellas County needs to provide a critical facility that can function and manage disaster response and recovery.
Okay, it's a type 2 use request. Your name and address?
I'm Anthony Tramp, Stantec, 777 South Harbor Island Boulevard, Tampa, Florida.
And you are the engineer representative for the
Correct.
design firm. Is there anyone here in opposition to this case? You are. State your name, please.
My name is Tony Ringlespaugh, 3300 Fox Chase Circle North in Palm Harbor. I'm here to represent my daughter, who lives at 3650 Old Keystone Road. It's going to be right across the street from this project.
Okay, hold up a second. So on behalf of the applicant, do you wish to make a presentation to us, adding more information than staff has presented?
I don't have physical documentation, but I provide additional files so you know if necessary.
You want to hear from the opposition and then respond to that?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. First question is where is our building now, our 911 Operations Center? Where is that located? Is that one of our 17 county buildings that we're fixing to vacate?
I'm sorry, I don't get your question. The facility that is being built is to house emergency personnel during a time of emergency or storm where they need to have basically a residential facility to stay at.
Okay,
So-
and I understand that. So I'm trying to figure out where the driveways are gonna be for this new facility. Because all we got was a big blank map. We didn't get any plans or anything.
Does this help you? Oh, sorry. You want to put that down on top of the logo on the table. The camera is up above, and everybody will be able to see.
Yes, this facility,
which
you know, this
structure?
treatment plant right there.
The water
It's
treatment,
gated
yeah.
access, so nothing's changing up front. So everything's shown in this land area right here, so.
Yeah, they're not adding any new new driveways off of Old Keystone Road. They're
From many
utilizing the
homes.
existing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, well, another question, I know it's all agriculture out there. You say it's not gonna be used unless for emergencies. I just don't understand why we're doing this when we have 17 county buildings that we're fixing to vacate. We're relocating our government building. I'm sure you all have heard my name, so I ask you all to vote no on this because we don't need this across the street. It's wetlands to begin with. You're gonna have to build it up. I don't know what your setback is. I don't know how far you're gonna have to build it up. We're concerned about flooding when you do that. So I ask that we vote no on this and go back to the drawing board and see if we can't figure this out a little better.
Can you respond?
Yeah, we're not impacting any wetlands. Our final footing elevation is 6 inches over the existing admin building that's on site. We're not within a 500-year storm, and we are providing stormwater management for the additional impervious area for this building.
So then where will the drain run off to if you're gonna provide all that?
This is a drainage retention area that's already managing the stormwater from the existing facilities, and this pond is large enough to maintain and manage the stormwater runoff from this new building.
So is this a new pond or an existing pond?
It's an existing pond.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. I ask that you vote no until we look at a better scenario.
Okay.
I mean, we got 17 buildings we're fixing to vacate. I don't see why we can't use one of those. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. How many people is this designed to hold in an emergency situation where they need to have a residential place? You know?
I believe it was up to 20.
Okay.
I'd have to confirm the exact occupancy.
And does the county wish to respond at all to any of the concerns?
This is the specific of why it's up here is this is for the operations that are up there. The Keller facility up there for providing water. Staff have to be up there during an emergency, and so this is a building that's needed to accommodate them because the existing buildings are not adequate and have those facilities for it. So it's specifically for our wellhead and pumping facilities, our water facilities that are up there at the Keller.
The people who would be using this building
Work
are
there.
working on that campus?
That's correct. They already work on that
Clear.
facility.
Correct.
Okay.
And those other buildings are very old. I know that one of my friends used to live there. I mean, years and years ago.
Yeah, they took out some that were old houses out
Yeah,
there that
that's
were
exactly it.
retrofitted.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is only temporary, right? When you need it, right?
Right, the use
Okay.
case is temporary.
Yes.
It's a
The
permanent
building is
building.
permanent, but it's
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, the use.
it's
The
used in
storage-
time of emergency, basically.
The storage will be used permanently, not temporary. There's a warehouse portion that will be used for storage. But the actual pump rooms and something like that will be on a temporary basis, just for any emergency storm
Just
situation.
emergency.
Anybody care to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve based on the conditional approval and the facts and findings of the recommendation of staff.
Is there a second to the motion? Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the question signify aye.
Aye.
Motion, rather. All opposed to the motion, any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The type 2 variance is granted, or type 2 use is granted. Thank you very much.
The next two cases are for the same, the type 2 and the variance, so I'm going to cover those both together. So next two cases, TY2 26-03 and VAR-26-09. It's a type 2 use to allow for the relocation of an existing historic community assembly building in an R4 zone for the property located at 341 Bay Street in Ozona. The following variances are also being requested, which is a variance to allow for the relocation of the existing historic community assembly building with having a 14-foot front setback where 20 feet is required, and a variance to allow for the construction of an exterior unenclosed wooden stairway as part of the relocation, having a 6.5-foot front setback from the northern property line, where unenclosed stairways can only extend 4 feet into a required yard. Staff recommends conditional approval of both the type 2 use and the variances. So the subject property is 75-foot wide by 271-foot deep residentially zoned lot that currently contains the Ozona Village Hall in Ozona. It's been designated as a historical structure. Additionally, the property is located within the coastal storm area. The Ozona Village Hall is used by the community, has been continually used by the Ozona residents as a community assembly facility. It was designated as a historic landmark by the Board of County Commissioners in 2015. During Hurricane Helene in 2024, this building suffered significant water damage from floodwaters entering the building, destroyed flooring, electrical systems, furnishing. So the Ozona community has proposed the rehabilitation improvements, which would include moving it on the property and raising it up. The intent of the project, as well as to preserve the character and historical significance of the structure while allowing it to continue to serve community as a community gathering place. They went through the Historic Preservation Board and received a certificate of appropriateness to accommodate the improvements that will need to be made for relocation and elevating it because it's a historic structure that the Historic Preservation Board reviewed to make sure it will retain its historic nature. They're also looking to add 7 parking spaces, crushed shell drive aisle, accessible ramps, stairways, so they're going to bring improvements to the property. Variances are also needed as the structure would not meet the minimum front setback of 20 feet. The building is currently at 14 feet where it's sitting, so they're not looking to move it any closer. It would just be moved, horizontally over into a new part of the property. And then since they have to elevate it, they're going to need to have stairs, and the stairways will need to encroach into the front setback. Again, staff recommends a conditional approval with appropriate site plan review, permits and fees. There was some questions from our staff regarding, flood zone of the property and the building elevations. As it's a historic building, there's still a question on whether it would need to be raised more because they're relocating the historic building. The building code, which I'm not an expert on, has provisions on there about historic buildings not needing to meet requirements. However, since this is being relocated, there still may be an elevation issue, which, that would be a different process. We don't hear if they wanted to request a variance from floodplain elevations is not something that comes to this board.
Okay. Y'all want to introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Matt Silverrain, Gulf Coast Consulting, 13825 Icott Boulevard, Suite 605, Clearwater.
Thank you.
Todd Garino, 397 North Carolina Avenue, Palm Harbor, Florida.
Brian Smith, President of Ovis Software.
Brian Smith.
Brian Smith.
Good to see you. It's been
we know you.
many years. And you both are here on behalf of the Ozona?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I have one question, and this is for Matt. If we look at the site plan, I'm sorry, is there anyone here in objection to this case? I see none, okay. For the engineering side, on the site plan, page A1, you have that site plan?
So I'll have to warn you, that's the architectural plan, and they're not as good as engineers.
No, they're not. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I can simplify the question simply by saying you're moving the building, so in the course of moving it, why couldn't you accommodate the necessary setbacks that would meet the code?
Mr. Tom Schofield from the Historical Society is here as well as a planner. The reason why is it would lose its historical character, which is the same reason why we don't want to elevate it as well. The Board of Commissioners approved this structure in 2015 as a building that had historical significance. And our aim is to protect it, improve the site plan situation, but also not impact its historical character. This is one of the oldest building, if not the oldest building in Pinellas County. It's something that should be preserved. So that is our aim, is to protect this building and preserve its historical character. Sending it back, meaning the setbacks for a modern residential zone piece of land will not preserve its character. The reason why the setbacks are so far is so that a car can pull in and park in the driveway, so on and so forth. So it was decided that to preserve their character, we want to have it just as close to the road as it was for hundreds of years.
Okay. All right, to the board, we're dealing with three things here. One is the approval of the type 2 use, and then we have two variances, one for the front setback and one for the stairwell that
Encroaches in the front.
encroaches into the setback. Stairwells are only allowed to have a 4-foot encroachment. This one has a 6.5-foot encroachment. Is that correct? Yeah. So I don't even understand why they get a 4-foot encroachment, but I get it. But that's what we've got. Is there anything, any questions of the applicant in this case? Anybody have any input? I don't want to make you go through a whole presentation if we don't have questions. Okay, anybody care to make a motion? Council, can this be combined into one motion, or do we need three motions?
I would recommend doing 3 motions, so
Okay.
it's clear.
Two motions.
Well, two
it's
motions for each item.
One for the type 2 and one for
One for the type 2 and one for
variance.
both variances? Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve, conditional approval for the type 2
Use.
and also the variance.
We're going to do a separate motion for the variances.
Oh, okay, individually?
So, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
so-
All right, so I make a motion to conditionally approve based on the facts and findings of staff recommendation for the type 2 use.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the type 2 use. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Type 2 use is approved. Anyone want to make a motion on the two variances?
Go ahead, you said you wanted it.
Yeah, for the two variances based on the applicant's information and staff's findings and conditional recommendations, I move to approve both of the variances under 2609.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the two variances. Is there any further discussion on that? All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You've got your type 2, you've got your variances. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, good to see you again.
Yeah,
Many
definitely.
years.
Feels different now.
All right, we have minutes from the last meeting, which was expertly run by Jason.
Efficiently.
Efficiently, yeah, very good.
Move to approve.
Yeah, and he moves to approve his own
His own
meeting.
minutes.
Which is good.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 3rd meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the motion carries. Any further business? I think, Renee, did you say this is the last time we're going to see print copies? Did I see that somewhere?
Not yet.
Oh,
We
okay.
are, yeah, you missed that. I made that announcement that we are in the process of getting that changed over. Hopefully by the end of the year.
Oh.
You will get your electronic PDF of the agenda, but you won't get a mailed copy. We're going to switch over and have tablets available.
So this was just an early warning.
They're getting ready to get ready.
We wanted to give you a warning, so if you don't like it, you got time to complain, but it's already in motion, so it can't stop.
All right, no further business. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.